competition in the 15-a-side format of rugby. And we have had previously 12 editions where we have seen quite a number of franchises coming into play. We started with 4 franchises and now grew to 8. And after a 10-year hiatus, we are back in 2024. Looking forward to a great afternoon of rugby. The weather is okay. The underfoot is fine. The pitch is ready for use. The weather has really favored us this afternoon. And we are looking forward to a great day where we see Rhinos taking up on Buffaloes in match day 2. The Rhinos players, looking at the setup here today, we are looking at Mohamed Kedir in the front row together with Adam Mugo, Meshak Tunek. We also have Ryan Odua and John Aswani packing in the second row. Steve Odhiambo as the captain, leading at the back row together with Laban Kipsang, Sheldon Kahi, taking at the number 8. Then you have Arnold Muita, 9, Kevin Asena, Victor Odhiambo, Shem Okola and Paul Mutsami packing in at the centers for Rhinos, Mantoka Matoka at the wing and Harmony Wamalwa at the fullback. Replacements are Dennis Tuibei, Eric Shimoli, Raymond Chacha, Charlton Mokua, Patrick Wendaina, Bruce Odhiambo, Charles Odhiambo, and Charles Omondi. The setup for Rhinos, Buffaloes, we do have taking on the front row is Edward Moura, Geoffrey Shitambasi, who is also the captain, together with Hilary Mwanjiliwa. Then you have at second row Hilary Odhiambo, Clinton Litali, Thomas Simiu, Collins Indeche, and at number 8, Gabriel Adero. We also have Collins Osore controlling traffic at number 9, Eric Cantona, Griffin, Darrell, Hilary, Brian, and Samuel at number 15. The finishers for them will be Jeremy Odhiambo, Emmanuel Otieno, Darrell Alwach, Andrew Angila, Biden Hayo, Jackton Omondi, Patrick Kluivert, and David Williams. Welcome to match day 2. Currently ongoing, we have a knock on there, right at the middle. Kickoff has been taken. The man in charge of today's game is the very experienced Godwin Karuga, assisted by Victor Odwor and Kelvin Dirangu. Early on here, within a minute, we can already see big collisions coming up and down, receiving attention after a very huge collision. We do hope that he is okay. We do hope that he is fine. But he's really received a big hit, and that is Eric Cantona. This edition has been won by the largest amount by Rhinos, who've taken half of the titles that have been on offer for this tournament. They have taken 6 of them, followed by a distance by Cheetahs, who've taken 2 of them, and the other 4 being shared 1 each by the remaining franchises. So we do have a knock-on, has been called. We are coming in for the scrum down. It's a put-in. For the Buffaloes. Buffaloes majorly constituted by Cabras and Masinde Muliro University, and also adding to that is the Western Bulls, Catholic Monks, and Kisumu RFC. Those constitute the Buffaloes. Main sponsor for the Buffaloes is the Cabras Sugar. So for this edition, they go by the name of Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. That was not a straight feed, and a free kick has been given by Godwin. Options here will definitely be for a scratch and looking for territory. I think this early enough, it is clear that no one wants to play in their half. Strong carry there. Quickly shifting to the left side of the pitch. A slow build up here. going into the racks, looking to take it out. The ball is being taken out to the wings, but it's a loose ball, and it's ended up being a potential forward pass. Godwin spots it and calls for a forward pass, which leads to a scrum down in favor of the Rhinos. First test for the Rhinos, fiber mobile Rhinos, first test for them with the ball and in a good space, just outside the Buffaloes 22. Both teams, remember, lost their match day 1 matches, which was played under heavy rains, so we didn't get to see the best of them. But today, these are perfect weather for both teams to put themselves back into the discussion for the playoffs and actually the finals. The format today is format for this tournament is a round robin. The top 2 at the end will play for the honors of the 2024 Rugby Super Series, and the 3rd and 4th placed will go for the bronze. That was a knock-on at the base of that scrum under huge pressure. Collins Osore putting in the feed. Ref waiting for a steady scrum, which wasn't forthcoming. And therefore, is given a free kick, which has been taken quickly. Huge collision there. First set of rack. Players out to the right of the screen, if they can use them. Slowly building it up. Good tackle right there. Rhinos building it up slowly, taking it and folding round the racks. However, giving also the Buffaloes a chance to set up in defense as it goes wide. And there is a good run there. Stopped short. Good face play there. Good face play there from the Rhinos. But there was a knock-on at the end of it all from the Rhinos. So Cabras get an opportunity. Cabras Sugar Buffaloes get an opportunity to exit. They have been under immense pressure the last few minutes as they are camped in their 22. They need a solid scrum here that can give them an opportunity to exit properly. The last 3 scrum downs have not been steady, and it's a cause of concern for both teams. Ball is out from Collins. Big carry there by Darrell. However, there was offside. There was an offside spotted from the number 10, and Godwin calls it for a penalty, giving Cabra Sugar a breather, even this early in the game. Godwin basically checking to ensure that the tunnel is clear between the two teams as we get the first line out of the game. Ball is cleared right into Rhinos half. There's a good carry there by Victor. Takes it in. There's a contest in the rack. Very slow rack it is. Ball goes out to the right. Strong carry there, but is knocked on in contact. Referee playing advantage and no advantage. This will be a scrum down. Early minutes here, jitters from both teams, start-stop of a game. But at the pressure side of it is the Cabra Sugar Buffaloes, because they have been camped in their half for the better part of these first 8 minutes. looking to put in the ball, hoping for a straight feed. Ball is out, electing to play it wide from their own half. Very brave and courageous. Good run at the end of it all. Good ruck, the ball is out. Strong carry in the middle of the field, but they are losing ground. They are losing ground right there. Arnold should be able to good carry again, coming in from Sheldon. Very strong carrier. Remember him from the match day one, taking matters into his own hands and scoring the lone try for the Rhinos in that opener. A lot of infringement, repeated infringement from Cabra Sugar Buffaloes, and the ref calls them in to discuss with them about the consistent infringements. Definitely bringing into spotlight the defensive structure of Cabra Sugar Buffaloes. Matoka looking to get some acreage. And that's a good kick. That's a good kick right outside Cabra Sugar's 5-yard. The first visit by Rhinos into the Buffaloes 22. This will give us a good idea of where their strengths lie and what options they will take coming into this line out. First real attacking ball that they have got since the game began. Overthrew the line out. Hillary goes for it, knocks it on. It was knocked at the top of the line out, and a good chance lost there by Rhinos. First visit into the Cabra Sugar Buffaloes 22, and they lost it in that line out. I put in there for Fiber Mobile Rhinos. Ref calling for a proper setup. As Arnold Muita waits to put in the ball. Big shove coming there, big shove coming there. Ball is out. Quickly to the right. Looks like a try-scoring opportunity here, the corner flag, but he steps back in. Victor steps back in. There are numbers to the right, to his right, but they elect to go short. And I think that's a no-arms tackle. Godwin Karuga spotted it. It's an advantage. And this moment, Buffaloes are in serious problems, serious troubles with the referee for repeated penalties. However, strong carry there from Sheldon, even as they move in, and they get to score a try. Go over the chalk. First try of the game, the 12th minute. And the ref has not yet finished with the Buffaloes. That's like the third warning they get, but they concede a try after a spirited first visit into Buffaloes 22. Joining me is Kirori, who's going to give us an expert analysis concerning the game as it unfolds this afternoon. Kirori, what's your take on what you've seen so far?
Thank you, Elijah. I think it has been a tense, fast 13 minutes. Both teams showing some spirited efforts. But I think the Buffaloes have been a bit unlucky in these first 10 minutes. And Rhinos are probably showing from the fluidity of having played more together last weekend. I think there's lots more to show. Obviously, the pitch conditions are great for running rugby, and I think we're going to see a brilliant display of exciting show of rugby today.
Thank you, Kirori. Even as we took that, Evan managed to convert for a 7-0 lead in favor of the Rhinos. Restart taken there. Sheldon at the end of it. Big carry taking him towards the 22-meter. They look to set up and elect for an exit. Solid kick downfield, and it goes out just at the 10-meter mark. Still in their own half, but getting a breather nonetheless. In terms of territory, Buffaloes have been able to get the better of it, but they have nothing to show for it so far. Shows the clinical capabilities of Rhinos, being able to have 1 visit and 7 points in the bag. Strong carry there, looks like a high tackle. Yes, referee playing advantage for the high tackle. Another strong carry by Gabriel. No advantage, and ref calls it back for the penalty. And it was really a vicious swing of the arm. And Sheldon finds himself coming to the naughty seat very early on. That was a wild swing that connected with the opponent's head, leading to the sin bin. Eric Cantona with a good kick just outside Rhinos 22. What do you think, Kirori? What are their options?
Looking at Cabras Sugar Rhinos, these are Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. They are a tight piece, set piece, tight play sort of a franchise. I think they're going to go for a maul. Unfortunately, Godwin Karuga calls that for a half penalty to the Rhinos, Fiber Rhinos, and they are off to an attack.
Thank you, Kirori. An up and under right there from Arnold. It's well covered by Cantona. Ball goes out to Samuel, who sleeps there. But they still recover and retain the ball. They go to the left, looking to the numbers right here. Good offload to Griffin, and goes all the way. Griffin scorches the earth as he goes for the center post. Manages to cut back in against the rushing defenders who overcommitted. And Griffin Chao lands right at the center post. What a return from the Buffaloes. What a return. That's a long-range try, showing that indeed they have something to offer. Today is a must-win for both Buffaloes and Rhinos, having lost their first games, because whoever loses here basically knocks themselves out of the contest for the finals.
Yeah, that was a great display of transition from defense to attack. And both teams are going to fight it to make sure they have a hand at the final 2 stages of the Super Series. Exciting. I think the board now is square. This kick looks to go through. 7-all for both franchises. And we have a game.
True, Carrero. The game is all tied at 7-all. Cabra Sugar Buffaloes 7, Fiber Mobile Rhinos 7. We have a game. We have a game this afternoon. Remember, Rhinos still playing a man down. Good reception there by Griffin Chao, the try scorer, They set up the rack and try to see how they can exit from their own territory. Ball was passed back into the 22, so it can't go out straight. Kicked straight into the hands of Elvin, who takes it out to the left, finds some forwards there, and there was a forward pass from Ryan. The forward pass from Ryan, I think the opportunity was there, just the accuracy in the passes. That was a good opportunity for the Rhinos. Ball in hand for Collins as we wait for the input to the scrum down. Godwin trying to set up the scrum. Over time, these scrums have now become stable, making it easier for both teams to actually play the ball out, allowing for fair contest of the game. But that's a loose ball from the base of the scrum down, and it's a knock-on. Yeah, it was a knock-on. It was a pressure ball all the way from the scrum down. Credit to the centers, Mutsami and Paul, who were able to rush the attackers and turn over the ball and give themselves an opportunity to explore what they can do just inside the Buffaloes 22. 7 points conceded so far as Sheldon sits on the naughty bin, a very costly sin bin for the Rhinos. No one exerting their superiority in the scrum downs. Both been well contested. It's a bit of a loose ball all over, but recovered by the Buffaloes. Setting it up, looking for territory. Some good space to the right, but the hawk-eyed referee Godwin sees the offside. He was ahead of the kicker, and that just gives Rhinos territory. What do they go for? What do they go for at this point, Kirori?
Looks like the Fiber Rhinos are going to go to the corner. They probably want to set up a mole. They are the lucky coming out from Eric Cantona's kick. He seemed to have been looking for a 50-22. Was unfortunate to have his teammate ahead of kicker. And this looks like he's going for points. Elvis Asena from the Rhinos, Fiber Rhinos, is going for the 3.
Yes, looking to go ahead on the scoreboard. Gives us a good idea of the shooting prowess. And this will be good, I mean, for the Rhinos, considering there are 14 men on the pitch. They're able to go ahead even at this time. Concentration there. Evans cues it to the left, and it goes out, not successful. We'll have a 22 dropout restart. So Buffalo survived that. The game is still tied at 7-all. Cantona with the ball. Raises it all the way to Matoka, who returns it with interest, and it's called for a mark. 22 far deep. The chase was there, but it wasn't sufficient. Takes a scratch and takes it out just outside their 10-meter, in between the 10-meter and the halfway. Game has really settled down. Paul Musami happens to have a blood injury. The blood bin is allowed. Charles Odhiambo comes in at outside center to replace him as Musami gets checked. Game resumes now. Line out in favor of the Rhinos. Ball lost. Ref indicates that it was spilled backwards, so the game plays on. Strong carry there by Edward. Just outside the 22, so they can't kick it out straight. Kicks it center of the pitch. Bounces and gives them the defense enough time to come up. But the ball is taken quickly to the left side of the pitch. Carried there by Haman, who goes down. Arnold, strong carry there by Meshach. Coming in strongly, taken back to the left where there are numbers. Good carry, stepping back in is Victor. But that's a wild pass. And the referee spots another offside. Cabras Sugar Buffaloes coming under intense pressure on defense, conceding a lot of penalties.
Yeah, the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes seem to be over-eager to step off their flanks, and referee Godwin Karuga is catching them offside a lot of the time. They need to watch for that. I know they're eager to try and go ahead of the Fiber Rhinos. And Rhinos now opting to kick for 3. It's going to be a game of inches. Every single point counts. And I'm sure the coaches have a lot to do during the halftime talk.
Indeed, Kirori, as Evan lines up for the 3 points, it will do good to the Buffaloes to just try and marshal their defense line properly. This is like the 9th offside penalty they are conceding just in the first half. That is work for them to do, if indeed this costs them an extra 3 points. Ball sails. Again, drifts to the left. Evan today has not carried his kicking boots. Those are 2 kickable points, 2 kickable penalties, 6 points left on the table. And I think we have to check, see there are strong winds, yes, blowing towards the left, but he needs to compensate for that appropriately. 22 dropout restart, goes deep, no communication from the defenders. I don't know what was happening there, but the man behind should have been able to call for it, as he had a better sight, better vision for it, just giving themselves a lot of pressure, defending a line out in their half. Adam throwing it in, and it wasn't straight. Teams turning over possession to each other, even as the game goes on. The accuracy is lacking, and they're giving each other chances. Sheldon, in the meantime, rejoined the game after serving his time out in the naughty bin. I'm sure he has amends to make, even as he looks at stabilizing this scrum. Put in by Collins. Big shove, big shove. What an injection of power into that scrum. But Buffalo's lucky to get away with that ball. Cuts back in. That's Darrell cuts back in. They have a rack. Looking to build up slowly. Good communication there between the ball carriers. As Collins shifts it out again to Edward. Slow build up here, slow but sure, as they look to carry it strongly. That's a strong carry by Gabriel. All the way there's an overlap there. Elects to cut back in. Still retaining the ball. Rhinos coming back to the defense line slowly. Coming under pressure as the ball is in their 22. Their numbers out, but a short take there by Geoffrey. Ball is out. Plays them behind the defense. But that comes to naught. Kirori, the execution, the accuracy, passes going to the floor, forwards.
Yeah, I think the players need to build in a little bit more patience and temperance, especially when they enter the opposition's 22. That obviously would require a lot of communication from the halfback pairing to ensure that the players are patient and they're taking care of the ball and making the right decisions and choosing the right options.
Indeed, as the Rhinos find themselves with a defensive scrum in their 22. Ball is not yet in, the scrum is not stable, but the feed goes in from Arnold. The ref calls for quick unbinding, and Sheldon takes off. Makes some good 10 meters there. Ball is being contested, but they are still in their territory, and they will look to exit. Good kick, very high kick, but the chase is poor, and the ball is able to be taken by Collins. Again, another wild pass that goes to ground, but Buffaloes are still able to recover it, attacking the right side of the pitch. Setting themselves up for a carry. That is Gabriel. Strong carry into the Rhinos' defense, but he was isolated, and that is the first turnover we are seeing today. The first turnover we are seeing at the racks today, and Rhinos are able to turn over the ball. Again, there is need for patience, even in attack. That was a rather isolated run. Most of his forwards were still recovering from the defensive duties that they had been on.
Yeah, the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes tend to show some very good structure in attack. However, their decision making, perhaps communication, is failing them, and a lot of the time seeing a lot of rude chances which they're going to miss, especially should the score not favor them at the end of the 80 minutes.
Looking to throw the ball in. The line out is Adam. Goes short to Mohammed, and they are able to carry that through. But the ref calls it. It wasn't straight. The ref calls it wasn't straight. So they do have a free kick. Rhinos have a free kick. And they take it out as we wait for another line out. Hopefully, Adam puts in a straight one this time. But the variation at the lineouts shows that there is pressure and a lot of contest that is there in the lineouts.
Yes, the Fiber Rhinos have a good field of jumpers. Former Kenya under-20 captain Laban Kipsang. And it's interesting to see that last week's MVP, Sheldon Kahi, is also jumping, which is a very, very good array. So they should be able to variate the calls and target to throw the ball where there's no opposition.
Yeah, and that was another line out that was knocked on at the top of it. Rhinos get a put in at the scrum. Very solid scrum, very stable. Good platform for the backs to have a take, and they take a grabber kick. The ball is loose, but the ref calls for an offside. Ref calls for an offside. The Rhinos centers were eager. They were ahead of kicker, yielding a penalty to the Buffaloes, who used the chance to come into Rhinos half and set up from there. So far, we've not seen multi-phases of game. Start-stop, never going beyond 5 phases. And the weather is good. The handling skills should be better today.
Yes, Elijah, I agree with you. Very good pitch today, very good conditions. The weather has held. Green turf, hoping to see some exciting rugby and multiple phases. Let's hope that the bodies are not yet warm at this 34th minute. Hopefully we're going to see a little bit more of that multi-phases execution by both franchises, both Fiber Rhinos and the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes.
Indeed, and that will be something to behold, something for both teams to work on, even as the first half slowly comes and ebbs away to an end. There was a maul initially there, but Buffaloes were penalized for unbinding, for swimming around the maul, which led to the penalty kick taken by the Rhinos. But indeed, they have lost the line out. This was their line out. They have turned it over to the Buffaloes. And they're attacking here quite strongly with Hillary going into the tackle there. They should retain the ball in that track. Collins comes in, looks out for his men. Strong carry there by Hillary. Again, turnover at the rack. Strong carry by Sheldon. He really takes things and matters into his own hands. Ball goes out wide. Strong carry again there by Meshach. Quick rack. Numbers to out, but the ball is loose. Godwin spots another offside. And this time round, he's not lenient. Those are too many warnings that they were on a team warning. And finally, after repeated countless tens of penalties coming from offside, Buffaloes get one of their players out to the naughty seat for another 10 minutes. And this is their man, Eric Cantona. That's going to be a big miss for them.
Yeah, that's a big loss for 10 minutes. Eric Cantona, who has been very good with the kicks, and also his playmaking abilities are going to be missed by the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. This on top of the penalty that is almost being kicked by Alvin Wamaloa. If it goes in, it doesn't go in, and the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes are lucky with that, but they have to contend with playing without a playmaker for the next 10 minutes. It's not any fun.
Yes, it did, Keriro, and this is a problem that should be addressed over halftime. The discipline on defense is so paramount for any team. Also, again, because it's a franchise, different players from different clubs, seems the chemistry is not yet there for the Buffaloes, and defense is normally one of the places where you see chemistry. Ball is raised high there, coming down, and there are multiple knock-ons there. It was indeed a good ball. However, at the act of retaining it, Rhinos knocked it on, and it's a put-in for the Buffaloes.
So in this case, when you do not have a playmaker, you probably want a few of the strong ball carriers to take you forward. Let's see what options the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes are going to take. One of the options will be to have an 8th man pick from the base of the scrum, or have a strong ball carrier at 12 to take you forward, and probably see what options you get from that.
Indeed, as the players shifting, the centers shifting to take the number 10 position, you just want to ride through the next 10 minutes without conceding any points, and your ball carriers are crucial in that. Good put in by Collins, scrum wheeling slowly to the right, and Rhinos conceding a penalty, angling in that scrum down. And you wonder what happens when you have an opportunity to maximize on having 15 men against 14 and you give away a penalty. Works in favor of the Buffaloes.
Yeah, I think it's a very good field. Two very experienced front rows in Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. That's Edwin Moura and Hilary Manjilwa, who have both been capped at the Simbas level, obviously showing their mettle. And I think this obviously is an opportunity which the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes head coach should identify as probably Arsenal to give attack. So a line out to the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes.
Indeed, lining it up is Shitambasi. Good reception and good setup. And they put on a rolling maul there. They need a lot of patience here because it's working for them. Going slowly, going surely, approaching the try line. I can see several players from the Rhinos who are unbinding. And finally they get over the chalk to score another 5-pointer. Really patient and patient build-up from the Buffaloes.
Yes, the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes going for the right option there, keeping the ball tight and using the maul to their strengths, and they're rewarded there with a 5-pointer. I think the cracks are starting to appear at the Fiber Rhinos. The coach must be very, very happy with that, scoring a try when you're 14 men down. And let's see what the Fiber Rhinos answer to this.
Yeah, indeed, and scoring that just as you're closing out on the first half gives you morale, gives you something to reflect on, something to build on over halftime as you go into the next half. Again, also remembering that, Cantona is still out. And the attempt at conversion goes through. Even without Cantona being there, Samuel steps up and is able to nail an extra 2 points. What a show.
What a show, what a show, what a show, Elijah. I completely agree with you there. Cabras Sugar Buffaloes are happy to go 7 points ahead to halftime. The Rhinos obviously have quite a number of players on their backline who are really, really good. I mean, looking at a very experienced Paul Mutsami, a.k.a. Boi, Shea Makola, and the electric Victor Mola Odhiambo, they should be able to surmount some fine, brilliant back play. Well, they have 40 minutes to come, and I'm hopeful to see more of a strategic second half from the Fiber Rhinos and keep this contest alive.
Thank you so much. We'll see you on the other side of this half. Welcome back. Welcome back to the second half. Cabras Sugar Buffaloes leading as we start the second half, 14 points to 7, having scored 2 tries in that first half that was littered with a lot of handling errors and a lot of penalties on offsides from Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. Rhinos, on the other hand, also had a fair share of their troubles, Sheldon having a yellow card, and even Buffalo starting this second half with a yellow, still being taken through by Eric Cantona. Good kickoff there, received by Sheldon, setting up a platform that allows for them to exit. Big carry there. The rack is well covered. And Arnold looking to kick it from the base. Surveying his options, takes it out wide because they still have numbers out, given that Cantona is out. Good step by Victor. Plays it in back to Laban, who carries it strongly into contact. There is a contest in that rack, and the ref calls a halt to it and a timeout, even to consult with the assistant referee on a potential foul play.
Yes, some excellent show from the Fiber Rhinos there, Elijah. I think that is what we expected to see from the very excellent backline from the Fiber Rhinos. Cabras Sugars, Buffalo's Clinton Italy is judged to have tried to reach for the ball while off feet. And Rhinos, Fiber Rhinos opt to go for the line out. And let's see what the plan is.
Indeed, some opportunity to get on board, add more points for the Rhinos quite early in the second half. Ball goes to the back. Good, strong reception by Jonas Wani, who goes to the chokes but doesn't get there. Almost comical what happened there, but it's a turnover, and the Buffaloes survive that onslaught. Ball goes out wide. They should look to exit. Poor kick, and it's carried out. There's a lot of pressure from the Buffaloes in that area. The ref calls it off, no advantage. Exit looking like a serious problem for the Buffaloes at this point. They benefit even as there was a knock on there from the Rhinos. Buffaloes should look to survive this particular scrum down because it's right at the 5-meter line. That was a steal, as you can see from the replay, a very good steal right in the red zone. Took a lot of guts. Substitutions happening early here. Coming in is Jackton Omondi, taking the place of Collins Indeche at the back row. Good shove, looking for a penalty, but they ain't coming. They're able to exit. Good boot, but it doesn't go out. It's received by Evin, who passes it to the slippery hands of Hammond. What a knock-on. Oh my.
Oh my, Elijah, that's a coach killer by Harmony Wamaloa. Harmony Wamaloa, who plays for the Kenya Harlequins, had all the time in the world to receive the ball, but slippery hands there. I think he took his eyes off the ball, and now it's a scrum down to the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. Coach killer it is.
So we have a put-in for the Buffaloes right at the center of the pitch. Even as Cantona prepares himself to come back in after sitting in the sin bin for 10 minutes. They surely need him right now. Strong carry off the base by Gabriel. Collins passes it out. There are no numbers outside, so Hillary carries it in. Good ruck. Still go for the short balls. That's a strong carry by Shitambasi. Surveying their options there, going again short, keeping it tight as they try sucking the defense. Ref plays advantage for an offside and the ball goes out wide. Good strong carry there by Griffin, and he goes all the way. He goes all the way and scores. This is amazing. This is quite amazing for a team playing with 14 men for 10 minutes to score. That is really something.
Elijah, that's a blistering pace there by Griffin Chao. Wow, what a run, what a run. And I'm sure the national team selectors have obviously made a note. He scored last weekend, he scored again today. That was a top drawer try by Kabras Sugar Buffaloes, Griffin Chao, who plays for Kabras Sugar in the Kenya Cup League. And Kabras Sugar Buffaloes go ahead to making it 19-7. Kick to come.
The first duty for the resuming Eric Cantona is to go for the additional 2 points. Puts it up, sails, goes right through, cuts and splits the post there to stretch the lead further to 21-7 in favor of Kabras Sugar Buffaloes. And indeed, daylight starting to appear between Buffaloes and Rhinos here. Rhinos really need to bring their best game because 2 losses in a row will really hurt their chances in making it for the finals. But nonetheless, Kabras Sugar Buffaloes, despite their infringements in the penalties that they have given, they have much to show on the scoreboard. Taking the kickoff right now is Bruce Odhiambo. It goes all the way and is fumbled into touch. So it's a line out for the Rhinos right at the 22-meter mark. And if they ever needed an opportunity to hit back, it's right now, because they're in prime territory. Doing some few moves there and they lose the line out. Stand over and a good carry being done there. Very strong carry coming through. Setting themselves up for an exit play here. Buffaloes looking to get out of their area, being gifted possession while they were doing preparations for a defense. High ball taken back there into play, and they look to counter. The ball is chipped over by Matoka, but he doesn't regather it, and it is returned just outside the half, but still inside the half for a line out in favor of Rhinos. Seesaw of a game right here. Buffaloes trying to survive, trying to hold on to their lead, but they're still camped in their own half.
That's a good clearance by Samuel Omolo. Samuel Omolo plays for the Catholic Monks. His usual position is fly half, but the Kabras Sugar Buffaloes have seemed to put him at full back for today. He has a very, very strong boot, very characteristic strong boot. And this leads to a set-piece scrummage to the Kabras Sugar Buffaloes. Another opportunity to get themselves out of their half and perhaps put a bit of pressure to the Fiber Rhinos. The heavens have opened, and it's now raining now. Let's see how the teams adjust to the wet and slippery conditions in the next 30 minutes.
Yes, indeed, Kiriro. And this throws, throws the plans into a different spin right now. Coaches and the technical bench have to think of the changes that they can put in their game. Naturally, no one would want to play in their halves, especially with a slippery ball. Could it be that we're about to see a tennis of kicks from both teams? Angling, there was an angling by the tight prop, and Godwin spots that, grants a penalty to Rhinos, who up the ante now with a very good kick, very nice kick on the 5-meter, calling the Buffaloes into defense. If only Rhinos can do their lineouts justice by receiving it, they stand a good chance of shoving 5 meters and getting a try.
Yeah, the Cabrashiga Buffaloes seem to have made changes to their front row, bringing out the experienced Edwin Moora and Hilary Manjula for Emmanuel Otieno, commonly known as Jada, and Darrell Oluoch, who's just fresh from playing with the Kenya Under-20 Chipu winning side. And a maul goes in, and the Rhinos are in. Fiber Rhinos, try time. That brings it to 21-12. Kick to come. And that seems to be Adam Mugo. Adam Mugo has scored a brilliant 5-pointer from the scrum, from the maul. Adam Mugo, who plays for Kenya Harlequins, must be very impressed with himself. Kick to come. And I think it's safe to say, Elijah, that it's game live.
Indeed it is. And that's what we want to see. Remember, these are the best players around the country coming together in different franchises. And it's good to see a competitive match. And where one would have thought Rhinos were in it for a beating, they just respond with a timely 5-pointer, with Evan lining up the conversion. It sails wide. The scores remain 21-12. 21-12 in favor of the Buffaloes. But changes coming in. The whole front row of the Rhinos exits, and in come Dennis, Eric, and Raymond. The rain has just eased up a bit as we restart. It's a good carry, good take. Matoka has been solid under the ball. No drop balls. Able to take out the first defender, evade the second one. He's had a good evening, a good afternoon for his team. Arnold lifts, hoists the ball up, and it is well received. Again, the ball is raised, looking for territory here. It's caught by Samuel. It's called by Hammond, who's been able to put in a grabber, but he's tackled, placed down. Ball goes out to the left. Good strong carry, good offload, but it's knocked on. Sheldon with the ball, carries it again. Both teams turning over the ball frequently. And it's to the credit of Godwin that he plays advantage. Otherwise, he'll have a lot of stoppages. Ball goes out, their numbers out wide. Good carry. Charles carries it through if he was able to offload, but no, they go in for the rack. They need a quick ball here. And the ball goes loose, but there was offside. That's the advantage of quick racks. Quick racks tend to give you more. As we speak, the ball goes out. Strong carry by Victor, who offloads it. There's a scramble for that rack. The ball is out for Arnold, sets it out wide. Strong carry comes in by Dennis, who's just come in. Need a quick ball here, but being where they are, they can take their time. Be patient. He needs support right there as he's losing ground. Taking it slowly, taking it patiently, and that is the way to approach it at this area of the field. That's a high tackle on Mutsami. Ref Godwin Karuga spots it and plays an advantage. Good offload, but good rush defense there on Charles. Places it down. Decisions to be made here, even as Sheldon goes in strong. Quick ball. They're sniffing blood here. They're sniffing blood here. And the ref stops the game. Ref stops the game.
Yeah, I think this is time now for the Fiber Rhinos to have a sort of a structure to make sure that their excellent backs out wide are in a position or have earned the right to go wide. They have quite some exciting backline. Victor Mola Odhiambo, former under-20, Kenya under-20, and very exciting finisher at the same. Arnold Muita, who's quite a very peeled eye halfback, and also Strathmore Leo's captain, should be able to release the ball to the backline. I think the three-pointer should bring Fiber Rhinos closer to the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. And now we are down to a single score.
3 points in favor of the Fiber Mobile Rhinos. Bring the scores within a 1-try difference between the two.
Yes, Hammond slots that one in. It's getting tighter, and Rhinos have responded in the right way. After having a lead that they seemed will not be able to chase down, they are going at it meticulously, playing in the right areas, playing in Buffalo's half. Buffaloes have just been warned again by the center referee Godwin about their offsides, and it's a while since I've seen a team really suffer in terms of offsides at their defense. Restart is there. Matoka receives it and bangs it down the field, but just barely gets out of, still within their half at the 10-meter mark. Line out to come for the Buffaloes. I think they needed that break, that breather. They have been under the pump. They've been under the pump for the last few minutes since they scored. And in that time, they have conceded points. They've been able to gather the line out. It was an overthrow, but they'll still be able to take it at the tail end of the line out. Strong carry there by Ryan. Ball is a bit slow there from the rack. Arnold sending it out wide. Again resetting from that rack. And the ball is knocked on first by Buffaloes, then by Rhinos. But there was an offside which created that pressure. And very immediately, Buffaloes want to extend their lead, want to put themselves outside of a 7-pointer, and they elect to go for points. Cantona calling for the tee. If they are able to put it, then it puts them beyond the 7-pointer and gives them some breathing space. Rhinos will feel that they have a chance in actually winning this game if they are able to minimize on their errors, handling errors, and play to their strengths, which is in the forwards and in the right territory. They look like they can be able to snatch this game. Cantona misses with that long ranger. around 43 meters, sails to the left of the posts. And we'll have a 22 yards restart, which is quickly done. And they're attacking from their own area. Quite cheeky there by Matoka. Ball goes out to the right. They need to protect that rack. I don't know if this is the right option. They are playing a lot of rugby just outside their 22. Gonna put them in a lot of pressure, and there it is. They have knocked it on. Should have gone for the 22. They should have gone and put the ball right into the territory of their opponents. And now they have yielded territory and given a platform for the Buffaloes to attack them. Substitutions being made there. Coming in for the Rhinos is Charlton Mokua and Laban Kipsang exit the stage having done his bit. The finishers for the Rhinos will be very important because this game is still there to be won. Stable scrum there. But Rhinos caught in the act of trying to push up, forcing the Buffaloes to go up in the front row. And the hawk-eyed center referee is able to spot that and penalize them. Again, losing more ground, losing territory. This is just outside their 5-yard, and there are going to be a lot of pressure. They're going to be under a lot of pressure from this line out. Just when they were turning the tide around, they open a back door for more pressure to come in from the Buffaloes. Andrew Angila comes in. Andrew Angila comes in for the Buffaloes.
And David Williams. Coming off.
Good line-out throw there, and an immediate sack done properly by the Rhinos, which causes an accidental offside, and the Lady Luck smiles for the Rhinos. They survive just 5 meters away from their try line.
Yeah, that's a coach killer again there. I mean, a very, very good take by Cabras Sugar Buffaloes, Hilary Odhiambo. Hilary Odhiambo is famed for his very good line-out prowess. Unfortunately, they are judged to have been offside on the ensuing maul, and the ball has turned over to the Fiber Rhinos. Jeremy Odhiambo is at it, and the ball goes out to Charles Odhiambo, who plays for the Nondis. Very good carry. And the back line is ready to run this wide. Victor Mola with the ball. Stopped on his tracks. Sammy Wainaina, very colorful Harlequins halfback from the winning Chipu side, is on the pitch directing play, and the ball is turned over to the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes. John Williams. John Williams plays for Kisumu RFC and is top of the track, and Eric Cantona kicks deep into Fiber Rhinos territory. Matoka receives it and is off to a blistering run. Stopped on his track. It's a very good, very good carry. Offside. Well, Buffaloes are judged to be offside again there.
Very good first play. Very good first play by the Rhinos. And the tension can be felt. It's palpable. The game is getting tight again as both teams are being careful not to lose this game. Rhinos having a penalty for the offside. They have two choices. Either attempt to go for the line out and a drive over which they've had a very good strong maul, but they are pragmatic about it. They want to chip over and slash the points gradually, the deficit gradually. At 21-15, if this goes through, if this goes over from Amalwa, then it will be a 3-pointer game. Nice connection with the boot. Sails right through the center post, and the game comes down to a 3-point margin. Who would have thought about it when this half began?
Oh my, Elijah, game live. Game live, 3 points. It's jitters at the technical benches. I'm sure the coaches are fidgeting. The tension is palpable. Fingers crossed. And you can imagine the very, very tense moments. Eric Cantona on the restart. Goes deep into Fiber Mobile Rhinos territory. Received by Paul Mutsami. And Sami Wainaina sets for a box kick, which looks to have gone straight into touch.
Yeah, that's a grave mistake, because they're just right outside their 22, turning over possession to Buffaloes, who really need that one. Scores right now being 21-18 in favor of Buffaloes. Their lead has been cut down to just 3 points. Setting up for the line out. Goes up and recovers it very well. That's Hillary. But becomes messy thereafter. And the ref calls it for the Rhinos. Rhinos standing out. The referee tells them to come in. Tells them to come in because that tunnel is way too wide. And that is not straight at all. Such small cues give you an insight into how contested the lineouts have been in this game.
Very, very contested. The set pieces have been a great area of contest between these two teams, and basically between all franchise teams. Boy kicks for that, and Matoka reaches out, but unfortunately he knocks on. Turnover to the Buffaloes. Andrew Wangila with the ball, steadies it. And there goes Patrick Kluivert. Patrick Kluivert plays for the Catholic Monks. And they still retain possession. Knock on.
I wonder at what point Kluivert knocked it on. It could be at the attempt to jackal, because it's not clear from our replays, but Godwin was right in the mix, right in the middle of it, and was able to spot it. So it becomes, if you check clearly, Patrick emerges from that with the ball, and the ref had already indicated there was a knock-on in that rack. Be it as it may, the ball now belongs to the Buffaloes. And it's about time that their backline gets firing. Again, it wasn't a straight feed. Rarely do you see that being called, but the refs have decided to stamp down on feeding.
Yeah, it's a rare call by the referees, but looks like the hawk-eyed Godwin Karuga caught Patrick Wainaina, caught Arnold Muita, caught Collins Osore from the Cabras Sugar Buffaloes feeding, and the ball has been turned over to the Fiber Mobile Rhinos. A kick goes straight out, but there's still a penalty advantage to the Fiber Mobile Rhinos. And I can see Sheldon Kahi pointing to the posts, and Harmony Wamalwa looks like he's setting to kick for 3. Should that kick be successful, the game will go to 21 all draw, and that now will be game live.
Indeed. Wamalo had a stint down south, and part of what he was working on, you can see on display, are the kicks. And he took over the kicking duties from Evan. And boy, has he shown up. This is a crucial kick. Good connection, again, right at the top of the posts. Nails it to tie the game at 21 all. And this has the making for a very tense final minutes closing of this game. Indeed, it's what you expect from a franchise game. Teams get into the chemistry, teams get into knowing each other and playing well on match day 2, and even as the game progresses, you can see that they are getting their tactics right and they are getting their execution better. That's a restart that Matoka gets and returns with good interest right back into their own half. Buffaloes, they have been brought back to their 10-meter and they have to rebuild from there. The lineouts, which have been very much contested, will continue being a harvest point for both teams. Ideally, if you can't get your set pieces right, you get little ball to work with.
Yeah, you're very right, folks. This is definitely what we
And Buffaloes have an opportunity and
this is the green bell of the green.
barely survived in that lineout.
Rugby scene.
Big strong carry there, coming through, doing 10 meters, very strong carry.
Hoping to unleash them
Very slow rack.
of the tournament.
He goes for the space. Wamalwa gets it and fumbles and slips and falls down, but he's able to rise and put a very huge kick, pinning the Buffaloes back in their own 22. Finally, the ball finds touch, and everybody can take a breather, even as we get into the last quarter of this game. Line out ball for Rhinos, still within the half of Buffaloes. Brian at the end of that, but doesn't get it. Good catch there by Patrick. Offloads, and they go 20 meters from the line out. Entry from the side of that rack, they get penalized. And the back chat from the players to Godwin Karuga, who doesn't accept it and gives them another 10 meters. Makes it easier. I think they do not know Godwin Karuga very well. And dissent is not something that referees tolerate. It earns you another 10 meters, which now just, if this penalty goes through, then it'll give the chance for Buffaloes to go ahead by 3 points. Very interesting setup.
Yeah, that's coming off a very strong carry by Patrick Kluivert, ending up with Matoka's attempt for a turnover that was judged to be offside, and the chat back to the no-nonsense Godwin Karuga and Cabras Sugar Buffaloes a penalty, and they go ahead successfully from Eric Cantona's kick, and it's Cabras Sugar Buffaloes 24, Fiber Mobile Rhinos 21.
Restart here from the Rhinos, having gone behind by 3 points. Buffaloes make a big meal of that, but they survive somehow. Ball goes to the winger. Big carry. Continuity there. Fast track is needed here if they're to get people offside, and they do have a quick ball. which is immediately dropped under under pressure. I think he was caught in two minds. Do I get the ball or do I save myself? And he opted for the latter.
The very experienced Hilary Odhiambo is obviously going to cast himself there. It was coming from a blistering run from Griffin Chao. And now turned over to the Fiber Mobile Rhinos, setting up for a scrum. What will they do with the ball? It's a big question.
Yes, indeed. As Patrick puts it in, but the ref calls for pushing up, illegal scrummaging, pushing up. And that's the second time they're being penalized for that. Trying to put force, trying to put pressure, apply pressure on the front row of Buffaloes, but in the end conceding points. The two sets of indiscipline, from both teams, whereas Buffaloes are guilty of a lot of offside penalties. A lot of set-piece penalties are coming from Rhinos. And in this scheme of things, might cost them another 3 points.
Yeah, the front row pairing of Raymond Chacha and Eric Shimoli. In this case, Eric Shimoli has been penalized by Godwin Karuga for shoving up. And the result is a successful penalty, taking the Cabral Sugar Buffaloes to 27. Rhinos 21. The Fiber Mobile Rhinos 21.
Indeed, paying dearly for those infringements in the set pieces. And two of them really coming from attempting to push the front row of Buffaloes up. They should be able to learn from what Godwin is calling. So a restart there, which goes straight out, piling more pressure, piling more misery to themselves by denying themselves territory. Buffaloes really turning on the heat now in the last 10 minutes, being very clinical and very decisive, getting points on the board through the reliable boot of Eric Cantona. So a restart here at the halfway. Can see discussions by Cantona to his outside center, hinting at where the ball will go. Very solid scrum, pushing and shoving for a penalty. Godwin checking and giving a penalty. Yeah, and the wheels are coming off for the Rhinos. The wheels are coming off for the Rhinos, giving out penalty after penalty.
Yeah, the Cabral Sugar Buffaloes seem to be on the hunt. And the Fiber Mobile Rhinos seem to be a little bit deflated. With about 2 minutes to go, I thought they would give it a last punch, but seems like the Cabral Sugar Buffaloes, Eric Cantona is setting up for another penalty. Should this go through, then he will put the game away and an assailable lead to the Cabral Sugar Buffaloes. And certainly, I might be correct to say that it's going to be extremely difficult for the Fiber Mobile Rhinos to come back into the game.
Comes off the post and immediately comes into play. Unlucky there from Cantona. But the game is on. Cantona with the ball takes a big hit, even as he attempts to get out of there, and the ref spots an injury, potential concussion there arising from that hit. Victor Odhiambo getting into a very huge collision there and being checked whether he's okay. We hope that he is fine. Player safety is a is an important feature of our game nowadays, and he's working well, he's fine. Referee restarts the game, which he had stopped because of the injury. And it's a put-in for the Buffaloes in their half. There's only about a minute or so to go. We can safely say that this is in the bag for the Buffaloes. Yeah, we are having some banter here on who we think is the man of the match. Even as the game comes to a close, ref penalizes the Buffaloes for driving in at an angle in the scrum down. It's quickly tapped and taken. Rhinos trying to play a Hail Mary game, running the ball. They still are in it. If they are able to get a try and convert. So with 1 minute or so to go, they still have everything to play for. That missed kick penalty by Cantona will come back to haunt them. It was a 50-meter attempt, but it has given life and has breathed life into Rhinos. At the beginning of this half, Rhinos did put a maul at this same place, be it on the other side of the touch, and they were able to shove through. Could this be an opportunity for them?
Oh my, Elijah. Look at the ton of wind now. The Cabral Sugar Buffaloes are under immense pressure. A line out at their 5. Going to Fiber Mobile Rhinos, but it's been stolen. And the game is over. And the Cabral Sugar Buffaloes have it. Congratulations.
Game done and dusted. Ladies and gentlemen,
The game is in the bag.
full-time score.
Yes, full-time scores here at Nakuru Athletics Club on match day 2. Match between the Fiber Mobile Rhinos against the Cabra Sugar Buffaloes in a match that both of them had to win. Buffaloes emerge at the end of it with a win at 27-21, basically giving no hope for the Rhinos as they head to match day 3. But we look to see how the next game will be. 2 losses might not be the end of it all if the next game has any say on it. But this has been a good game, even as the players give each other congratulations and commiserations. We are glad that you're able to join us for this match, and we look forward to the next one, the big one, the match between the Cats, the Lions, and the Cheetahs, who both won match day 1. We'll see you in a brief moment.
I'd also like to ask the winning coach and captain to finally make your way. So now, ladies and gentlemen, to award the man of the match, Rugby Super Series 2024, Vice Chairperson Kenya Rugby Union, Bwana Moses Dali, and ladies and gentlemen, your man of the match, Griffin, Chao.